All right, we'll get started in just a minute. See a couple people coming in, so. Here we go. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. And it is 2 minutes after 2. This is Matters by the Public. Vice Mayor or Mayor Weinroth has advised that he will not be available due to personal family situation, but we are here. The other 6 of us are here to listen to what you all have to say. Everybody will be given 3 minutes, and we are all ears. So with that, we'll start with first speaker is going to, and if you haven't submitted a comment card, please do so. But our first speaker is going to be Linda Smith, followed by Samuel Citron. Ms. Smith, you have 3 minutes, please.
Good afternoon. Linda Smith. I live in Jupiter, Florida.
Wait 1 second.
Of course. Okay. Name is Linda Smith. I live in Jupiter, Florida. Of course, producing food and other agricultural pursuits should take priority in the Ag Reserve. Anyone that moved to the Ag Reserve without the basic information, unfortunately, was underserved by their real estate agents. There's been a lot of articles about the Ag Reserve in the newspaper these days and discussing things like change is inevitable in the Ag Reserve. Change can take place in other areas, should be changing and developing. Should we be changing and developing in the Loxahatchee National Wildlife Refuge? I think the answer everyone would say is no. We aren't talking about adding just a few more picnic tables or pavilions. We're discussing actually tomorrow the potential destruction of the agricultural production in the Ag Reserve. I would like to hear more about a referendum for buying farmland, possibly in the Palomar area, but not in the Ag Reserve. The Ag Reserve is already protected. But if you can't do a better job of protecting the Ag Reserve starting now, I'm not sure that we'll get a lot of interest on a referendum to buy other properties in the North Palm Beach area to do some of the things you're trying to do. And why should we build more homes to increase Palm Beach County's tax base to buy more farmland? We already have farmland, so let's try to preserve it. And why are you paying consultants? It's my understanding, I get a lot of this from the papers, consultants when all you really have to do is leave it alone. In a recent Palm Beach article indicating that this might be a good thing, the word could was used 8 times. Could play a pivotal role, could be achieved, could provide a flowway, could be used as an impoundment. The county could build. Who's paying for that? I guess we are. Discharges could be intercepted and stored. Water could be treated. The Ag Reserve is already providing a benefit to the county and to our residents. I agree with the Planning Commission to please kill this plan, stick to the old plan, preserve the Ag Reserve. Citizens don't have the money to produce a glossy video and that sort of thing, so all we have is our 3 minutes here to speak with you. I also remember a saying made in Florida, and that used to be used for fruits and veggies. You can't do anything about trade agreements, frost, or citrus greening. I understand that, but you can preserve the Ag Reserve. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. All right. And next is Sam Citron, and he will be followed by Mr. Drew Martin.
Good day, Commissioners. I wish to address environmental and climate issues in general and the preservation of the agricultural reserve areas in particular. A recent issue of Population Connection magazine featured an article by Jane Goodall, renowned primatologist. She stated, "We are seeing the consequences of the crazy idea that there can be unlimited economic development on a planet with finite natural resources and a growing population. Decisions are made for short-term gain at the expense of protecting the environment for the future." A 2019 study by the United Nations reports that species are going extinct much faster than would be natural. Scientists are calling it the sixth great extinction. But we must accept that there is no planet B. With more extinctions and further encroachments into our economy, into our ecosystem, the tapestry is so tattered that it is close to ecosystem collapse. Also, by destroying habitats, we force animals into closer contact with people, thus creating situations for pathogens to form new human diseases. Under the previous administration, EPA's wetland permitting authority to protect the wetlands was transferred over to Florida Governor DeSantis' administration in 2020. Since Florida took over, the developers have rushed to submit a raft of permit applications to satisfy voracious building, property flipping, and other money-making schemes. Under the state takeover, anyone objecting to a wetlands permit in Florida has lost protection under the National Environmental Policy Act because the law doesn't apply to state permits. Earth Justice has filed a suit in January 2020 on behalf of 7 groups, including the Sierra Club, challenging EPA's approval of the state wetlands wetlands permitting program, and the way authority was transferred from federal agencies. We commend the Palm Beach Planning Division when it denied a land swap proposed by GL Homes that would have transferred a section of the Gravis Reserve into more houses. Commissioner Dave Kerner must also be commended for past votes against these intrusive measures, citing a reason he ran for office because he was born and raised near underdeveloped land and is part of the history and culture of our county. I concur with the legal opinion of letter of the Haiti McAfee, Esquire, dated January 13th. Among them, protect the, we encourage acquisition of lands to remain preserved. We have a planning division that is on top of the issues and good legal counsel intent of protecting our environment. We need all the commissioners to get on board. Let us not be persuaded by sophistry and allow a cognitive dissonance to impair our judgment. In the end, let us recognize that the emperor has no clothes. Thank you.
Mr. Citron. Mr. Martin, followed by Kay Gates.
Drew Martin. I'm the conservation chair for the Loxassee group of the Sierra Club. And I have to say, I was very impressed with Sam's statement, very well written. And I love the last sentence, let's not be impressed by sophistry. That is very well said, Sam. Thank you for your comments. I just want to start by complimenting the commissioner on how good you all look today. Really very nice group of people, and we always enjoy talking with you. We don't always agree with you, but we certainly enjoy talking with you. What Linda Smith was saying and Sam was saying, and it's very true, is that agriculture plays an important role. And Palm Beach County is actually one of the largest agricultural counties in the United States and has always been traditionally a large producer of winter vegetables. Now, we have a number of areas where we grow vegetables. Palm Beach County is very large geographically, and when I first moved here, I remember flying over Palm Beach County and how much of it was dark and undeveloped when I first got here, and that was because it was all agriculture. But there are different types of agriculture. So the Ag Reserve is different than the agricultural area, the EAA, the Everglades Agricultural Area. It's different than the Loxahatchee Indian Trails agriculture. The reason the Ag Reserve was so important is because it was a little different soil, a little more sandy, not as much a muck soil. And it's been in actually agriculture for quite a long time. What we're asking you to do is stick with a plan. When I first came here, I had a yard sign to support the bond, and I voted for the bond, and I was impressed that Palm Beach County was doing such a forward-thinking thing as to preserve agriculture. Now we know the county never got the amount of agriculture that it had wanted to purchase with the $100 million, which I guess they ended up spending 80-some million. And part of that may have been, from what I've heard, because GL Homes was bidding up the price to try to buy the land and cause the county to get less. I don't know if that's a fact, but I do know that the price was moved up and a lot of people made a lot of money. People who are farmers out there made a lot of money. And it's a real shame that they don't come down here and argue in favor of protecting that land because they benefited from that bond. This swap idea will not benefit the majority of the county. And people tell me, oh, we're looking at this holistically. Well, it only benefits the north part of the county. It only benefits a couple of areas. It doesn't benefit the whole county. The Ag Reserve does benefit the whole county and the agricultural lands. And how is that? Because it provides food. It provides restaurant food. And we have a lot of vegetables. And we know food is of shortage. So I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Ms. Kay Gates, and that'll be followed by, looks like, Edward Tentman.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Thank you for your time and for being here and allowing us to speak. I think I've shared a couple of times that my husband and I moved to South Florida, and the first time we were eligible to vote, that we were able to vote on the 1999 bond issue, and we were duly impressed that we had had the good fortune to move to a county that valued environmentally sensitive lands and agriculture. We were so excited about it, we shared this delight with family members. And here's the part of the story I don't think I've shared with you before. I have a sister and a brother who lived here in South Florida since they were young adults. When my sister heard that we had voted for this bond issue, her immediate reaction was, "You fools! Are you crazy? What's wrong with you? Don't you know that that's just going to raise our taxes?" And those commissioners or whoever those people are, they're just going to do with that land whatever they want to. You mark my word. She went on. She was on a rant about how stupid we were, and we better catch on to what's going on in South Florida. What's it going to be, commissioners? This land swap comes at the expense of good public policy and revokes a promise commissioners made to the public to preserve land in Ag Reserve. It would be a breach of public trust and would have a detrimental impact on the commission's credibility. What are you going to do? You think that maybe this land swap might be a good idea for people in Loxahatchee and up in this West Lake or whatever this new development is? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But a new commission is going to decide what happens to that land, not you. Why on earth would you want to throw the Ag Reserve under the bus at the expense of something that may or may not happen in the future? You got a good plan? Stick with the plan. Please don't be cajoled, swayed by ridiculous promises of something different in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Tetman, and will be followed by Lola McGee.
Thank you. I have copies of the sample ballot. This was the land acquisition program for the conservation purposes. I would like have copies for each of the commissioners. Will you accept, please?
I'd be happy to receive and file.
Okay, thank you. When the Ag Reserve Indian Trails Grove land swap was introduced, I immediately recalled that no residential, commercial, or industrial development was included in the ballot. entitled Land Acquisition Program for Conservation Purposes. I have since acquired a copy of the sample ballot, which confirms my recall, and I have provided a sample copy to the commissioners. I will now read the content. Shall Palm Beach County issue general obligation bonds to implement a land acquisition program for conservation purposes by financing the acquisition of, and in specific instances, the cost of certain capital improvements to environmentally sensitive land, land for water resources, greenways, agricultural lands, and open spaces not exceeding $150 million. Bearer interest not exceeding the legal rate, maturing later than 20 years from the date of issuance, payable from the county ad valorem taxes. Nowhere in there was included the language in the comprehensive plan from 1980, and this sample ballot was provided as the official ballot on March 9th of 1999. In 1980, the comp plan had an 80-20 provision in here for residential development, and but it did not appear in the master plan. Instead, the 60-40 master 60-40 cluster development option did appear, and the master plan was put together by an engineering firm and a planning firm that, well, I say that they were maybe looking forward to opportunities with this 60-40 for their work in engineering and creating the roads and the waterways and the sewage and so on, and the planners were looking for providing the development recommendations to the developers. So I see an opportunity for them there. The goal of the master plan was to preserve and enhance agricultural activity and environmental and water resources in the Ag Reserve, and to produce a master plan compatible with these goals. There's nothing in the sample ballot that we voted for this related to development. So,
Mr. Tepman,
Is this
your
justified?
time is up. If you could wrap, just if you can wrap up.
okay, thank you. Well, essentially, that specific ballot was electoral ballot was dated March 9th, 1999, and the final approval for the comp plan was done in October of 2000. So the final comp plan had the 60-40, and we had no knowledge of any residential development that was to be involved with the Ag Reserve. It was
Thank
to
you.
put
Thank you.
put vegetables on our table in Palm Beach County.
Thank you very much, sir. And finally, oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner McKinley.
Yeah, I just want to thank the previous speaker for bringing this ballot language. I'd actually just asked Mr. Rutter for this language about an hour ago, and just highlighting, you know, I've seen a few videos from some of my colleagues that question the trust, the honesty, the truthfulness, the integrity of those of us that are encouraging, engaging in public debate on this item. And this ballot language just hits home that nowhere in the process of tomorrow's conversation are we breaking any of the promises that were made based on this ballot language, because we are talking about environmentally sensitive lands, we are talking about land for water resources, we're talking about greenways, we're still talking about agricultural lands and open space. And I was a little offended by some of those COBRA videos that I saw that call into question integrity and honesty and truthfulness and promises. Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor.
Thank you. All right, and Commissioner Sachs?
Thank you. This is very interesting, the ballot, but it has nothing to do, Commissioner McKinley, with any of the, if you're referring to the videos by Cobra and by some of your county commissioners, is that what you're referring to? If it is not based on this sample ballot at all. So before we call anything disingenuous, let's make sure that is in a court of law, and this is a quasi-legislative judicial committee here, that we are based on facts, which will come out tomorrow. Today is based on public, and I appreciate the time that the public takes to come out to address us. But when it comes to anything that is on the airwaves, let's see what happens tomorrow on that. But I do take umbrage at calling any of the members of COBRA or the Alliance or any of your county commissioners to be disingenuous based on this sample ballot that was given to us. So we'll see. We'll take a look at it tomorrow and see what it's based on. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner McKinley?
Yeah, just to follow up, tomorrow is not a quasi-judicial proceeding. It is a comp plan, and the only thing that will be discussed is whether or not to initiate even having a conversation on this item. And I certainly appreciate the speakers today, always have in all of my years of service, whether it was behind the scenes as a staffer or as an elected official. But the tone of constantly saying that we are breaking promises because this is what was voted on and this is what they said the money was going to be spent on, by even engaging in such a conversation tomorrow is frustrating, because nowhere in this ballot language and what the county has done with those bond revenues, which is the only thing that was voted on, is those bond revenues. We promised to purchase land. We purchased land. We still hold that land in title, and we're not doing anything with that land. So no promises have been broken, and engaging in this conversation is not breaking any promises. And I am frustrated, but setting the tone for tomorrow's public conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Sachs?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last of what you said. Could you just tell me again, if you could repeat the last sentence?
I look forward to tomorrow's public conversation.
Okay, so do I, because I think that as in any public hearing, there's going to be a lot of comments, there's going to be a lot of information, opinions, and I think it's an open forum, and I look forward to it. But yes, it's frustrating. Democracy is frustrating. It's messy, but it's part of what we do, and I look forward to hearing. It was very good to hear today these remarks. I look forward to hearing them tomorrow, and I look forward to hearing remarks that may be contrary to what some of us up here feel and think and opine, but that is the way a democracy works. So I look forward to a very robust debate and discussion tomorrow. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Ms. Lola McGee?
Semper Fi. Hoo, hoo, hoo. I want to make sure you hear me loud and clear. The first time I came, I was very upset. I didn't know what to talk about. But what I want to tell you, this right here, that's my bloodline. Right here, Palm Beach County, best of Palm Beach County. I'm a baby hoorah, and I won't allow nobody white to disrespect my family. Now, I came here in November. I sent the information to Miss Virginia Baker. With all due respect, Miss Baker. Mom taught us to respect everybody, okay? But I said, help me save my family. And then here we are 3 months later, I'm still talking. I haven't got nowhere. So don't expect me to step in and skin and grin in front of you, because it doesn't go like that. Good afternoon, Board of County Commissioners, Palm Beach County, of Washington, D.C. Pelosi said she wanted to see Donald Trump go to jail. And that was during impeachment time. But then Donald Trump sent his boys to go murder her. That's what all that January 6th insurgent stuff was about. He sent his boys to go murder her. So right now, she's in trouble. You know, all that running down the corridor, he sent his boys to go murder her because she said she wanted him in jail. That's what she said. So why is it that everybody in Washington go run down the corridors and have protection, but then I need protection for these white folks and brown skin and illegal aliens and whoever else that Donald Trump got, the Proud Boys and all these boys, they doing me in. Now, Donald Trump, I just want to let you know, if you put your hand in my pussy, excuse my French, if you put your hand in mine, you're going to move out of Palm Beach County. I'm going to let you know right now. Hey, bodyguards, you better have about 15 of them. The message that I want to deliver, I'm running out of time, is that I have a list of people that have done some bad things. A lot of you up here, Melissa McKinley, you disrespected me last time. I told you about my brother, okay, and all the 1,500 rapes between 2017 and 18, 1,500 rapes here, Palm Beach County. And you tell me if I know anybody else. Right after I finish my brother, tell them about the victim services and the Butterfly House. Really? Okay, I got you right here, McKinley. I got you right here. You made a comment about the Department of Justice? You know about the Department of Justice? You're going down. You on my list.
Ms. McKee.
And everybody else is right here. I'm done now.
Ms.
I'm done.
McKee, can you go ahead and wrap up your comments?
Excuse me?
Please wrap up your comments.
I mean, the list is here. I mean, you have all the evidence. I got piles and piles of evidence right here in her office. I have a list of everybody who's a criminal. You're right here. I didn't have a chance to read the names on here, but Rick Scott, Ron DeSantis,
All right.
these boys are stealing money. Okay,
All right.
I need an investigation.
Thank you.
I got it.
Thank you
Okay.
for being here today.
All right, thank you.
Commissioner White.
Commissioner Bernard?
Vice Mayor Weiss, you know, Ms. McGee, I know you're going to be coming to this commission more often, but if you're going to come to the commission, it's going to be very important for you to refrain from naming our colleagues. You know, you can speak directly to the chair of the meeting, but to reference our colleagues, you know, that's not going to be acceptable in the future. So you just have to be mindful of that in the future of you coming to the commission.
Am I allowed to speak, sir?
I don't think he was looking for a response. I think he was just providing some guidance to you.
Am I allowed to speak?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. That was the last card I have. Is there anybody else in chambers who wishes to be heard this afternoon who did not turn in a card? Hearing none, then this meeting is adjourned.